What's going on YouTube? Today we got the ECU for the 1JZ in the mail, so we're going to try to get this guy started up on the stand. That way we can hear this engine run and know that it's a good engine. I've got it right here. I've already kind of opened it up for you guys here, if we can get it out. Don't mind my dog, she's eating in the background. Bam. 1JZ, and it's got the non-immobilized ECU. So we're gonna get this guy plugged up to the harness and then depin like 6 or 12 wires and get this guy started up. What are you doing over there, knucklehead? Be a good girl? Good girl. Yeah. Alright guys, so we're gonna get this guy out to the garage. I'm gonna eat some lunch real quick and then I'll see you guys out there. We have made it out to the garage. We have configured our ghetto boost pipe setup that we're just running temporarily because we're going to lift this guy up with a cherry picker, set it on a tire, bolt the flywheel and the starter back up to it, put power to the ECU, and then try to start this thing because we're idiots and that's what we do. So we'll run you guys through the process of how we're going to try to do this. Hopefully we don't fry this ECU here.
Hopefully.
We're dumb, so I don't know if you guys want to trust us 100%, but if it does work and you guys make it through the video, then you'll know that it'll work. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully we don't fry anything.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Lord have mercy.
Right.
So guys, what we're going to do basically is take one of these fuel tanks that are up here and grab my old pump that I was running in my car. It's really loud and annoying. Put power to that thing, just get some fuel line, run it from that to the back of the engine there, and then like I said, bolt the flywheel up, the starter, get all that stuff on the engine. We're gonna hold it up with the cherry picker, set it on a tire, put power to it, and hopefully hear it run. So yeah, on top of that we got some oil to drop in it, one for a oil change, obviously, to run you know, for a couple minutes in this, and then we can put fresh oil in it for it to start up in the car. This weekend we're supposed to pick up some engine mounts so we can mock it up in the car, and then we're going to do our cutting and stuff to figure out the radiator and all that piping, and then look into intercooling kits. Probably going to be off eBay, be the easiest, best bet. But yeah, so I guess we'll just hop right into this. Change of plans, guys. The video is gonna look really weird right now because all of a sudden I'm in a hoodie and a toboggan and it's nighttime and Winston's pouring oil in a JZ. What is going on? What is going on? You guys are probably wondering. Well, we had a little issue where we ran into a few things. We got the car or the engine all ready to, you know, prep up to start, so that way we can start it right here on this little tire. And then we realized that we didn't have the flex plate because we're idiots and we threw the flex plate out when we threw out the automatic transmission. So we had to go up to the junkyard today and grab a flex plate out of a, what is it, IS300 is what we grabbed it out of?
GS300.
GS300, excuse me. GS300 is where we had to grab a flywheel, or excuse me, a flex plate off of it. So you guys can see she's right there. We've got the starter bolted in, little spacer shims here. And Winston's pouring in some oil right now. We're going to take this 5-gallon fuel bucket here, pour it into one of these 5-gallon buckets, plumb our fuel lines wherever there they are, plumb our fuel lines, and then wire up our ECU to make sure that we can, 1, start the car over, and 2, let it run and do its thing, so that way we can hear that we got a good engine. We also picked up a few other things. Now, we aren't 100% sure, but these are VQ 350Z engine mounts. They are similar to the Toyota engine mounts, and from what we've seen online and what we've read, a lot of people have used them. Now, a few things that we're going to have to do, we'll probably have to shave down the engine mount on, well, the block mount, I should say, right here. Shave down this block mount just a tad bit so that way we can get the stud to go all the way up, because I believe the Toyota stud is a little bit longer. But we got that, and then what was one other thing? The math, but we're not sure if we're not sure if that's going to work, right?
No, I don't think it's going to work. So we're going to have to get another one of those.
But that was about it, right? That's all we had to do.
A ton of fuses.
Oh yeah, and we got a ton of fuses and just a bunch of
knick-knack.
Yeah, little odd random things that you don't really think of when you don't need them, but then when you need them, oh man, I need 3 or 4 10 amp fuses, or I need a couple, you know, M10 by 1.5 bolts or something. So we grabbed a bunch of that, you know, stuff and some other things. Grabbed some other things for my girlfriend's Subaru, like a tensioner bolt and something else because I broke the other one and I was using a Nissan tensioner on there. But okay, let me stop rambling. On to some really good news. So the Black Friday event, that sold out extremely fast. Like the day that they posted it, the registration, it was sold out 45 minutes later, and neither me or Winston were ready for it. We had, on top of paying rent and bills on the first of the month, we just weren't expecting it, and we didn't have the extra cash laying around. Well, they sold out, and then everyone threw a hissy fit, and they opened up 10 to 15 more spots. And as of right now, we don't think the JZ is going to make it down to the OSW event, and the biggest reason is because the VA and Winston's check for the adapter plate, for some reason they're giving it to him in the middle of the month. They gave him like a check now, and then they're giving him a check in the middle of the month, so it kind of throws him off with getting the adapter plate from Collins. So we're just going to take the CA down there and we're just going to beat the crap out of her, and we're both going to drive it and hope that we make it all 3 days, because I'm a little nervous for the little CA now that she's going to have a second driver. I'm pretty, you know, I don't know, what's the correct terminology? I wouldn't say conservative, but I'm very open to the, I don't know. Like when I'm out drifting, I'm just like, okay, in the back of my head I always know, okay, this engine can blow. Let me not rail it to the very end. But I guess it really is the moment, when you're in the moment. So that's a few things that I just wanted to get off my chest and get to you guys and let you guys know what was going on, the situation, the whole 9 yards. And now we're going to jump into getting this JZ started right here, and so you guys don't have to listen to me ramble on in my garage like I always do. So let's clean up a bucket here and try to get this thing going. Alright guys, so we have the JZ on the tire and we have our super sketchy ghetto setup all laid out. Let me just show you guys real quick because explaining won't even help. As you guys can see here, this is the ECU. What we have here is earth for the ECU itself. We have another earth up here straight to the battery off the intake manifold. There's another earth here that we could use but we haven't. That's part of the harness. And then what we have going on here, we have these 4 wires in the corner right here. We have power to those guys that is going to be switched power, as you can see right there in Winston's hand. That's just our little switch that he taps against the positive side of the battery. And then you guys can see these wires right here. These ones run up, and this is our constant power. That'll be the ETCS, and then what is this black and yellow one? Do you know?
That's power to the ECU.
Power to the ECU. Okay. Memory. Okay. So you guys can see that there. And then we also have this secondary green wire. As you can see, it's kind of laid over right here. That one is running over to our starter solenoid wire, which I just tap against the battery. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set the camera down real quick, and then Winston's gonna put power to it, and then I'm gonna hit the starter and she should fire up. So let me set the camera up right over here. Sick, boy, it gets me every time. Woo! As you guys can hear, the JZ is alive. The JZ is alive.
It is alive, and I'm fucking woohoo! That is 2 good things.
JZ started, and we're going to OSW Black Friday. Hell yeah! Let's put some clamps on it.
Yes, let's do it. Let's tighten the clamps down, get it back started.
We'll hear it run for a second.
Hear it run for a second.
Fuck yes. That was sick, dude.
That was awesome.
High five.
That was awesome.
So as you guys can see, the JZ does run. It's alive. We don't know if we're getting oil pressure and all that good stuff because obviously we don't have anything to, you know, test that or prove that, but we know that it runs and it's alive and it sounds very, very healthy. So we did one more thing. We just want to double check the water pump, make sure that we can, you know, kind of just let it idle for a second and see if we can get water flowing. So we got the heater core lines here. Those are just you know, looped to themselves. And then, yo, I keep tripping on this wire, bro. And then we've got a 350Z radiator with a really cool paint drying fan, CA hose, and a JZ hose, and we filled this thing up with some water, and we're just kind of let it do its thing and see if we can just let it idle for a second. Sadly, I don't have like one of those cool temp guns or something. That way we can see, you know, kind of the operating temperature or the temperature that it's getting up to. But other than that, guys, just kind of the basic idea of what we're doing. It may seem kind of silly, but we just wanted to let it run just a little bit longer than we had it originally. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this thing up one more time and see if we can get some water flowing through it.
Ready? Yep.
Well, there you guys have it. The JZ runs on its own, just hanging out on a tire and a cherry picker. She's alive. We're super excited. We're super thrilled. I'm still kind of dumbfounded that we actually got the engine to actually start right here. I don't know, just something about it. My neighbors are dumbfounded too. They're like, what the hell? They thought we were gonna blow ourselves up. I mean, I thought I was gonna blow myself up, but
I thought I was gonna die today.
we didn't die. We made it, guys. So I'm super excited. We're gonna go over just a real quick video, probably like its own part, showing you guys which wires are which and which ones you need to wire up to run your JZ. And now I can't promise you it's gonna run everybody's JZ because we've got one out of a Crown and it's a little weird, but there are, I mean, not even 11 wires to get these things going. So I think we'll do another, like, I don't know, maybe a second part video or just another part video to show you guys, for those of you that are interested in swapping a JZ into something, because this is really cool information that I wish I had known. It took a little bit of YouTubing, forming, researching, doing some pinouts and such to figure this out. So thank you for all the JZ guys that are on the internet right now, you know, helping us out. So we're definitely going to do our part and try to help you guys if anyone's interested in this. So that'll just be like, I don't know, a later video. Aside from that, guys, like I said, we got engine mounts. So probably tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, we're going to pull the 350Z around here and then start prepping to get that JZ dropped in like I talked about earlier. We have to figure out trimming down the JZ mounts just a little bit to use those 350Z factory mounts. Other than that, guys, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to wrap up the video for tonight, so I'll just see you guys tomorrow. Later! So guys, we are checking in with you. Winston is pulling the engine mounts off the JZ right now as we speak, and what we are doing right now is modifying our 350Z engine mounts right here to the JZ block / engine mount. This is what suspends the block, obviously, in the car. And as you guys can see, we kind of drilled this hole out here. What we did was use one of these large stepping bits right here, and we just ran this stepping bit down in there, made a large hole, and then just used another larger drill bit and rounded it off in the inside to fit the factory JZ. Where are they? Over here. Not JZ, the factory 350Z bolts. Now we have two of them because we have obviously our junkyard set. This is from the junkyard that we pulled, and that's where we got both of these nuts, top and bottom. This will be going in the cross member in the car. This side will be holding up the engine itself. And then we also kept the old engine mounts off Winston's VQ, and then what we did was retain that hardware, and as you guys can see, they are face to face. Hey, hold up real quick. Sorry, hold up. As you guys can see, they're face to face right here, and what I'm going to do is take the welder and tack them together, and then I'm going to basically assemble this engine mount like so. Hold on. Whoa, almost ran away. Let me set you guys down. So basically like so, You're dropping this engine mount in there like this. Now, as you guys can see, you can't quite exactly get a nut and bolt. Well, the reason why we're welding these two together right here is because one of these bolts, or excuse me, one of these nuts will fit down inside of this recessed hole that we drilled out, and then this top nut that we're welding to it is the nut that we're going to use to tighten down the bolt to the actual motor mount. So this is going to save us a couple $100 pertaining both the factory JZ mount and the 350Z mount, and then all we'll have to do in the 350Z itself is the cross member or the front subframe, whatever you guys want to call it. We'll just have to notch out the holes width-wise from left to right. If you guys get it, kind of, let me show you if you guys get this. So we'll notch the holes out to the right on the obviously driver's side, and then to the left facing the car on the passenger side, if that makes sense to you guys, to accommodate the width of the JZ versus the VQ. We've looked up at a lot of things online. Ignore the welding hood. We looked up a lot of things online, and we've seen people use these mounts, and we haven't quite figured out how they accommodate the JZ mounts to the 350Z, and this is kind of how we're doing it, and we're just explaining it to you guys. So I'm going to tack these things up and then weld them up on the motor mount itself, and then show you guys afterwards. Alright guys, so this is all I was regarding here. I just tacked these nuts together like so, and then this is what it looks like on the engine mount. You can see that the top nut is accessible so that we can loosen it up, but then the bottom nut has been fully threaded all the way down to the bottom and is recessed into the engine mount. What we will do is put some Loctite blue on this guy to ensure that it doesn't back off wherever the Loctite is. Oh, there it is, hiding right here. The Loctite blue on it, and you know, make sure it doesn't back off while it's supporting the engine in the car. So other than that, guys, once Winston gets the other engine mount off, we're gonna just tackle that project out, and then bolt these back up to the engine, and then figure out what we're gonna do about fitting it up in the car. We're gonna try to do that tonight. If the darkness kind of works with us, we don't want to, you know, fight it too much and have a headache trying to get the engine in here at night. And I don't know, we'll see what it brings us here in an hour or so. Shouldn't take Winston too much longer getting this stuff off, and we should be good to go. So we've got Winston taking apart the front end of the car here. We're going to be doing our first test fit with the JZ. Both the engine mounts are on there. Everything is all bolted up. So, looks like we're going to be clearing everything okay. So now the next part is trying to see if this will fit in on the stock cross member the way it is. We'll probably do a notch down, like I said earlier in the video. Just do that right before we drop it in and see if we need it, and then go from there. I know it's kind of hard to see here. Kind of sucks we don't have any luck. I think later this week we're gonna go get some stand-up lights or something, because the winter time sucks.
Yeah.
So I'll check in with you guys here shortly. So it's 12:30 and we have the engine all situated. She's sitting in there. She's being held up with that ratchet strap. We have it tilted back a little bit because there's no transmission on it, and we don't want it to fall forward on itself because there's nothing holding it in place, you know, all the way at the moment. So yeah, that's it. She's in there, guys, and we're just gonna start doing our test fitting with obviously the radiator, the fans, and then figuring out what we're doing for our boost tubes and all that good stuff. But this is definitely good progress, good step, you know, in the right direction. So I'm pretty excited to see the JZ in here. I'm sure Winston is too.
Definitely excited to see it in there. It looks good.
Sorry if we don't sound very enthusiastic. We're pretty tired.
Yeah, we're tired.
Fighting little things, I guess. Nothing too serious, just
this little stuff, little modification here and there. I'm gonna have to make a video later. Catch my YouTube. Watch my first video.
Oh yeah, he uploaded his first video. I'll throw in the link for his channel below. But yeah, guys, what we're gonna have to do, yeah, definitely subscribe. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Can't really see your face there. The light's all
Black as shit, I know.
So anyways, we're gonna have to probably extend the factory harness a little bit so we can tuck it up here in the battery box and then build a power distribution center. As of right now, we're gonna run it on the stock harness, just see how it does, and then if it gives us any issues or anything from there, we can maybe look into a specialty harness. That was the original plan, but we do, I don't know if I announced, I think I said this in the beginning of the video, but we have a Black Friday event, and right now the plan is to take the CA car, but if we can get the JZ car going and get everything squared away, we'll definitely take this car down there. But as of right now, the game plan is to extend the harness, get everything moved into this electronic center here, get a power distribution center. We have a wire that's already ran that we're going to relocate the battery to the rear, get that situated in the rear, and then one more thing is figuring out from the alternator over to the back side of the harness is a cut wire. We have to check continuity and make sure that that is the charging wire for the battery, so we can run that back over to the battery. And then once that all squared away, we can figure out our fuel lines. Here's the fuel lines for the whatchamacallit here. We're gonna have to figure out about the soft line itself, because that's kind of sketchy being down there by the turbo, so we might have to relocate that up and then over through here or something. So we've got a lot of stuff in front of us, so we'll definitely try to keep you guys posted throughout all of the stuff that we do, and you know, obviously try to show you everything that we're doing, so that way if you guys are watching the video and you want to do this to your car or your 350Z or something, you know, you can get a general idea. But that is that, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna wrap the video up now. As usual, my videos kind of just stand off, like, I don't know, on what I'm doing the night prior and then what I'm gonna be doing the next day. So I will just check in with you guys in the morning if I do anything. If not, the video probably will end right now. So see you guys maybe in the morning. Later.